Oh yeah, finally. I'm so excited, y'all.
Hope nobody's watching me. When people watch me, I get hungry.
Oh yeah, the CJ
Okay,
Bronson
she's
Show.
strapping.
CJ Bronson Show.
She's strapping some more.
Crazy funny asshole.
Are the people really crazy?
Oh yeah, the CJ Bronson Show. Crazy funny asshole. The CJ Bronson Show.
If I say to myself, what the hell is wrong with the people?
What's going on, guys? Today is Tuesday, July 12th, 2022. I hope you're enjoying the air conditioning, the AC. I hope it's pumping. Right now it's 93 over here in New Jersey, and I feel like my car's AC can't keep up with it, but whatever, we're going to make it work. We're going to keep moving. I got a couple of updates for you guys. Shout out to my girl Sharon on Twitter for letting me know that 2 brothers turned themselves in. You know, we're looking for 7 in regards to the tragic death, beating, the assault, the beating on James Lambert of Philadelphia that took place on June 24th. If you remember, a couple of days ago, I did an episode about this. 73-year-old man was just walking down the street early in the morning. I think it was around 2 a.m., if I'm not mistaken, when, it was actually, around 2 a.m., when 7 kids jumped him, beat him up with random objects. Again, check out the previous episode for that. And ultimately, his life was ended. Unfortunately, he didn't survive his injuries. Well, 2 brothers turned themselves in, ages 14 and 10, guys. Can you imagine? 14 and 10. You know, a 10-year-old boy and his mother were seen leaving police custody alongside the family's attorney Monday. The mother didn't answer reporters' questions. However, Philadelphia-based attorney Rania Major did speak on her client's behalf. They are saying they were normal kids. Do you remember when you snuck out of the house? Yeah, come on. This is the exact quote from the lawyer. Their lawyer is saying they were normal kids. Do you remember when you snuck out of your house? It's a very sad situation for all of the children, for the man's family, and for everybody involved. These are children. Let's let them have their piece. What? How about you let them have a piece of the death penalty? How about you let them have a piece of an ass whooping in prison for life? I mean, and the parents should also be there with them. And I stand behind that. And you know, remember, if you remember the story, there was a $20,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest of these young people. 2 of these people were, again, were the brothers, 10 and 14. They turned themselves in. This was not I don't understand. This man was doing nothing. He was an elderly black man just walking down the street, you know, minding his own business. And these 7 kids jumped him, and ultimately killed him. And this attorney has the gall, the audacity to just say, do you remember when you snuck out of the house? Yeah, me sneaking out of the house to go to my friend's house or to go to like the store to get Skittles and come back is a big difference. That's a big difference compared to, you know, beating up an elderly man with a traffic cone and killing him. Big difference. Not on the same. Not one and the same at all. You know, that's just crazy to me that's the answer that she gave to the reporters. She shouldn't have said anything. She should have said, we decide to remain silent until the trial, whatever. It's so evil. How could you do that to a person? Elsie Steffens, the victim's older sister, told NBC 10 soon after the video was released. You have a mother and a father. How could you just beat a man until you take off half of his skull? They did not show any photos of this man. I have not seen photos, nor do I want to. I want to respect his passing. Unfortunately, James Lambert was his name. Let's not forget his name. He was beaten severely to the point where apparently, according to this, half of his skull was missing. I mean, come on, man. On Monday, Steffens urged the other children to give themselves up. How could they sleep? I can't sleep. I'm having nightmares. James Lambert, again, was walking across Cecil B. Moore Avenue near 21st Street around 2:38 in the morning. Like I said, around 2 a.m. when he was ambushed, Philadelphia police recalls. Again, I showed the attack in my last episode, so if you're interested, please go check that out. I'll put a link in the description if I remember. But yeah, guys, I mean, there's a reward for any information, $20,000. I implore you, please, if you know anything, there's an anonymous tip line. I'll go ahead and I'll add that to the screen. Again, I'll put it in the description below. Let somebody know something. These kids need to be punished, because God forbid they continue to do this, right? Or they encourage other people to do this. We have to put an end to this one way or another. And I don't care this nonsense of, oh, they're just kids. Remember when you snuck out of the house? Yeah, no. Keep in mind, let's not forget what exactly happened. Lambert moves along the sidewalk, chased down by a young person holding a cone over her head. The teen struck him several times with objects, eventually knocking him to the ground, causing injuries to his head. The victim was transported to the hospital, where he died of the injuries the following day. You can see them happily leaving the scene. One even hopped on a scooter and appeared to be talking with another young person alongside him in the moments after the attack. A young person was seen running down the sidewalk. Even I can't comprehend that teenagers would beat an old person in the street for no apparent reason, said Tanya Steffens, Lambert's niece. Later, the young people appear to have gathered again. One teen is then seen acting out what appears to be a stumbling person. So now they're mocking him. They killed him, and now they're mocking him. Big difference between sneaking out in the middle of the night to go to a friend's house or go to candy or whatever, to a girl's house or whatever. Now, again, the anonymous tip line, it's here. You could phone it, you can text it, whatever. It's 215-686-8477. And there's also an online link, and I'll put that as well. Everything is anonymous. All tips are anonymous. Again, it's a $20,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest and conviction in this homicide. Oh, it's so sad. The family says, this is James, he goes by Simi. So James Simi Lambert, the man who was killed. His family tells me they are heartbroken, and they saw him just hours before he was attacked. They're still in disbelief. To date, there have been 280 homicides in Philadelphia in 2022 alone. So keep that in mind, guys. Like I've always say, walk in pairs, walk in groups, carry a weapon of some sort. I'm sorry. You got to have some kind of self-defense thing ready. Another example, another update. Now you have another update. Grinds my gears. Now this again was a bodega owner. Shout out to Dr. Jill Biden, who doesn't know how to say bodega, but a doctor. Keep in mind, allegedly. We have the story of Jose Alba. Do you remember him? He's the bodega owner who was in self-defense fighting off an attacker. A man who has assaulted a police officer was attacking him, and I reported this in my previous episode, another previous episode. His GoFundMe account was taken down. He's being held on bail for a bond. Excuse me. I'm sorry. He was held in jail, and the bail was $250,000. A crazy amount, in my opinion, for someone who was self-defense. Stabbed this man, and we have it on video, stabbed this man who tried to assault him, and he did assault him multiple times. Now, after the Manhattan DA, Alvin Braggs, was able to negotiate a $5,000 bond that allowed him to post bail and go home under heavy monitoring. But the crazy thing about the story is that it gets worse, because there's the woman, and I did not know this, but apparently the woman of the boyfriend also stabbed the bodega worker, the same man, the same 61-year-old Jose Alba, who's released now on bail, $5,000, stabbed the worker, and now she's claiming it was self-defense. And the DA feels that the woman who, again, allegedly stabbed him, even though we have it on video, is saying, oh, it's okay, she was stabbing him in defense of her boyfriend. So in defense of her boyfriend, she could stab somebody, but if he's defending himself and he's defending his store, he can't stab back? He can't stab him? Like, I don't understand the difference there. I don't understand that at all. But again, I'll continue on as stories develop. I will have an update, and we'll see how this progresses. As of right now, she's not charged with stabbing the clerk during the melee, during their hassle. There's nothing. She's free to go. What's the problem? What the hell is going on in New York? I'm speechless, which is very rare for me. This was in Washington Heights, so be on alert if you're still in New York. I would, I'm not going to tell you to leave, but I would definitely leave. I've been to New York. I worked in the city a couple times. I don't plan to ever do that again. You'd have to pay me considerably, and I want to have security, because this is not safe. I mean, this is. He's even Jose Alba, again the bodega owner, is saying it's very sad what happened. Please forgive me. Clearly, this man is already asking for forgiveness after he stabbed this man, 35-year-old Austin Simon. After this guy stormed him again, the guy is 35, the bodega owner is 61, and you see the tussle. I have the video. I put it up on that episode if you want to take a look at it. And you could see them struggling with each other. He pushes the old man down, Jose Alba gets back up and then reaches for a knife, and then he starts stabbing him back as this guy was not letting up. And I guess that's when the girlfriend came back around and did her own little stabbing. So I don't understand how one is wrong but the other one is right. I don't understand that at all. But we'll see how this story progresses. As usual, I will give you updates as I get them. But today's episode has nothing to do with that. Well, somewhat. Because it takes place, again, in the wonderful city of New York. New York, hey, it's the city of New York. From New York. In the city of New York, Mexican Cartel smugglers nabbed with $1.2 million worth of meth in New York City. Then guess what happens? The same thing happens to the girlfriend that happened here. $1.2 million worth of meth in New York City. No problem. Released. Let's dive into it, guys. Let's see what happened here. Keep in mind, we have an epidemic in this country of fentanyl. We have an epidemic in this country of mental health. We have a massive problem with drugs in this country, allegedly, is what they're telling us. Why would we let them go? I don't know. Let's continue. A pair of suspected Mexican drug cartel smugglers were busted with a $1.2 million stash of crystal meth, but had to be freed thanks to New York's lax bail laws, authorities say on yesterday. Two California men, Luis Estrada and Carlos Santos, were allegedly caught red-handed by the DEA as part of a multi-agency investigation. Yet frustrated agents had to stand by and watch as the suspects were cut loose on just supervised release. Now, I'm not a law enforcement person, I'm not a smart person, I'm not a doctor, nothing with really, I don't really have any credentials, but if somebody were to smuggle $1.2 million worth of crystal meth, a felony I thought would be federally at least, why are they being released? I don't, we got a man over here who defended his life with a knife, and he's on supervised relief. He has to go through a whole court process. These two people got a $1.2 million stash of crystal meth. Hey, what's the problem? Go home. I don't this is really like we're in the upside down. This is the upside down we live in. Shout out to Stranger Things. Don't give me any spoilers. I haven't watched the new part. Don't say nothing. I can't wait to watch it though. I'm excited. Anyway, sorry. Back to the story. Because the two men could only be charged with second-degree criminal possession of a controlled substance as opposed to a narcotic under the state's outdated drug laws. And the rap does not qualify for bail according to the Empire State's Soft on Crime 2019 bail reform measures. Shout out to New York City for allowing crime to win. This is a serious problem, said New York City Special Narcotics Prosecutor Bridget Brennan. The failure to include methamphetamine crimes among bail-eligible offenses was probably an oversight. Was it an oversight? Was it an inside job? I think it was more of an inside job. Maybe there's a cut to be made with this $1.2 million meth industry, or more. I'm sorry, higher industry. This is just the two people that they caught. Who knows if it's a big drug ring? It's a Mexican cartel. It's a massive cartel. Who knows if they're not taking a little cut? You ever see the show Ozark? Great show. It's on Netflix. Check it out. Slow start, a little slow, but it has its moments. Especially my girl Ruth. She's the best. She's awesome in that show. I hope she gets like an Emmy or something. She needs all kinds of awards. She's fantastic as an actress. But yeah, you just see these like massive garbage bags, and I'll throw the picture up. Massive garbage bags of meth. $1.2 million worth. Ooh. At the time the bail laws were changed, New York City was not a distribution hub for methamphetamine. Now it is, and we are unable to even ask for bail. Even if we arrest someone with no ties to the city and a load worth millions of dollars, wow, you still can't ask for bail? I hope that when legislators are better informed, they will make a change. Authorities said Estrada, who's 19, and Santos, who's 34, were nabbed with 165 pounds of crystal meth. Holy, 165 pounds of crystal meth. That's a weight of a human being. Think about that's crazy amounts of meth. Again, that's what, over $1 million worth. So, while attempting to make 2 drop-offs, damn. According to the criminal complaint, Estrada was arrested near the South Street Seaport in Manhattan shortly before 10 a.m. on July 5th, lugging a suitcase with 40 pounds of the drug inside. On July 8th, 3 days later, Santos was arrested in Inwood in Manhattan with 100 pounds of crystal meth and a small amount of cocaine. Because, it's all about diversification. You know what I mean? You got to have a little balance in life. Right, so you had 100 pounds of crystal meth, and I'll sprinkle a little bit here or there of cocaine. You know what I mean? Hey, you gotta keep life interesting, I guess. I don't know. Yet both men were arraigned in Manhattan criminal court within a day of each other last week and freed on supervised release. Freed on supervised release. Wow. You have $1.2 million worth of meth, but listen, go home, and I want you to think about your actions. But I'm going to watch you. It's like some kind of bullshit timeout. You could have killed multiple people. But listen, go home, and we're going to keep an eye on you. And I want you to think about what you did. What? Under current New York state law, neither man could be charged with a bail-eligible offense. Methamphetamine is categorized as a controlled substance, but not a narcotic drug, regardless of the amount of methamphetamine involved and regardless of a defendant's lack of connections to New York State. Under current law, judges may not set bail on cases involving the possession of only methamphetamine. So you don't think these people know the law? If you're transporting 1.2 million or 1 million of any drug, or even $100,000 worth of drug, you're going to know the law. So why not make a big trip? Get a freaking, whatever, massive U-Haul, fill it up with methamphetamine, and then take it through the city. Why not? If you get pulled over, they're not going to do anything. They'll just take it away from you. They'll probably just look at the truck and figure you're moving out of the state, like I recommend a lot of people do, and a lot of people have. Methamphetamine is running rampant throughout the country, causing addiction, overdoses, and poisoning. According to the agency, the feds have seized 78 kilos of the highly addictive drug last year, and a whopping 1,108 kilos so far this year. This year, the DEA has seen methamphetamine seizures in New York increase 1,300%. That's 1,300% since 2021, indicating New York is a bullseye for traffickers. Gee, I wonder why. I mean, you give people a slap on the wrist and send them home and take away their toys and give them a little time out for having this drug. Whereas other states, I'm sure it's not that easy. The seizure is a calculated treachery by Mexican cartels to flood the U.S. with their poison, and expand their customer base while driving addiction and increasing profit margins, DEA adds. In a report released in January by the New York State Department of Health, deaths involving methamphetamine spiked from 0.3 per 100,000 residents in 2016 to 1.7 for every 100,000 in 2020. Damn, what is that, triple? No, it's more than triple. 10 times? No, it's not 10 times. I don't know. It's a lot. 5 times. Something like that. The state saw 184 meth overdose deaths in 2020, with most of the deaths, 152 of them, involving a mix of fentanyl, the data shows. Again, they have to test all of this methamphetamine to see how much fentanyl is in there. Again, that's something that I've always believed that, they wouldn't just give people a slap on the wrist for carrying. How do you know the methamphetamine is not cut with fentanyl? Just a little bit here and there. Maybe this was the whole lot, but it's okay. We're going to keep an eye on them. We'll send them home to wherever that is, and we'll keep an eye on them. If they plan to kill hundreds or thousands of people with, spiked methamphetamines with the fentanyl mixed in, we got our eye on them. Or if they try to do that again, we're watching, and I'm sure we watch very hard. Like, what the fuck are we doing, guys? Excuse me, shouldn't have said that, but gonna have to bleep that out again. But what are we doing? It's crazy. You can't even get, you can't even go to the bodega without having an incident. You can't even walk down the street now without having an incident. But it is what it is, man. Even the drug cartels seem to own this country now. From the border all the way to New York City, they seem to have full control of this. Who's to blame? Is the Biden administration to blame for having open borders? Some would say yes. Are the laws to blame for not, having an actual law to enforce this stuff? Some would say yes. I would say yes. I'd be the some. Is that going to change if we change out the administration? I have no clue what's going to happen. I don't know. Is it too late to change? I hope not. I hope it's not too late. November's around the corner, so we'll see what happens with the midterms, but it's scary. It's nerve-wracking because we're only in July 12th. We got August, September, October, unless things change. November's next. I don't know. Got a long way to go. That's like 90 plus days, right? Oh, shit. I don't even want to say what else could happen. I don't even want to say those words because I feel like every time I say what else could happen, something else happens. We got Hunter Biden's information leaked out there all over the place. We got Ghislaine Maxwell still waiting for that list. We'll see when that comes out. And meanwhile, $1.2 million worth of methamphetamines are off the street supposedly. But it will be funny, not funny, but I wonder if these two guys are going to try it again. They're keeping an eye on them, they're watching them, but who's to say they don't try it again? The one, and think about the age difference of these kids. One kid was, how young was that one kid? The one kid I said it was, how old is he? He was in his teens, right? I think he was in his teens. Gonna scroll through it till I find it. 19. Estrada was 19. The other guy was 34. 19 years old. Carrying around almost $1 million or a little bit over $1 million worth of methamphetamine. Slap on the wrist, and he'll probably do it again. He's 19. Probably just try it from some other direction. I don't know. Crazy world. Crazy world. But what do I always say? With every episode, I will continue to say this, guys. Find yourself some kind of weapon. I'm not trying to say this to put fear into your heart. I am trying to protect you guys. And this goes for all ages, especially if you're a senior. Over 50, you need something that you're comfortable with. I don't care what it is. If if it's a nunchuck, if it's a ninja throwing stars, I don't even know. Archery, pistol, shotgun, a sword. What else is there? An axe. Whatever you're comfortable with, or whatever you can have with you handy. Taser, laser, whatever. Keep that on you. Mace, keep bear mace. Keep that on you at all times. Stun gun, whatever. Because if you're going to be walking around, or you're going to be going out and about, or even if you're home, this could happen at any time. I'm not trying to put fear into you. I want you guys to be ready. It's the world that we live in, guys, and I'm fortunate this is the way it is. And it doesn't matter whether you're in New York or whether you're in Philadelphia or wherever you are, California, Texas, Florida. It's happening everywhere. So be prepared, be ready, and keep your eyes out. Just be cautious. Go and walk in groups. Don't try not to be alone as much as you can. It's not safe anymore. You thought COVID was a big problem. Now we have actual people that we can see who we think are just kids. Causing crime and chaos. It's the invisible enemy has become the visible enemy, basically. All right, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the Tuesday. Hope you enjoy. It's Taco Tuesday. Get some tacos. Relax. Maybe have a little drink. Be safe. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Put in your maximum effort and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcast. It's available.